Okay, well done, everyone, for arriving today. Welcome to our lesson. My name is Alistair. I am your conference lesson teacher for today. And if we have a look on screen, we can see the title for today's lesson. It's called Tense Harmony: How to Maintain Consistent Verb Tense in Storytelling. Okay. So great. Yes, we want to try and keep the microphones off during the conference lesson for today. Okay, so we're going to think about tense harmony today related to storytelling. And of course, storytelling is a written part of English, as we can see from the picture with the person writing on their laptop. So we're going to think about written storytelling and consistent verb tenses today. So there are a few points on our agenda for today, and the first one is understanding verb tenses in storytelling. Okay, I'm just going to just double check that participant list. Okay, looking good. So understanding verb tenses in storytelling. Let's continue. So definition. What is tense harmony? Tense harmony means keeping your verb tenses consistent and logical, like a conductor keeping every instrument in time. So tense harmony means keeping your verb tenses consistent and logical, like a conductor keeping every instrument in time. But why is it important? Well, let's find out. So why is it important? Why it matters? So tense harmony, it makes your story easy to follow. Okay? It gives a flow to your story. It avoids timeline confusion, e.g., she went to the store, she buys milk. Okay, wait, when is this happening? Okay, it's not clear. So tense harmony avoids timeline confusion. So we've got a metaphor to help us think about this. Tenses are like musical notes. When in tune, they create beautiful rhythm. When they're off key, they confuse the ear and the reader too. So tenses are like musical notes. When they are in tune, when they are in harmony, they create beautiful rhythm. However, when those notes are off key, they confuse the ear. And this is the same with verb tenses. When they are used incorrectly, it can confuse the ear and the reader of your story. So here we have the three storytelling stars. Okay, so there are three verb tenses which are very common in storytelling, in written storytelling in English. So we're calling them stars. The first star is the past simple, which we use for main actions. She opened the door. Okay, so this is for actions finished in the past. She opened the door. We also use the past continuous. Now, this is great for giving background and ongoing actions. For example, she was cooking when I arrived. So we use the past continuous for setting the scene or interruptions. She was cooking when I arrived. The third storytelling verb tense star is the past perfect. This refers to the past before the past. So the past before the completed moment in the past. She had left before before the party started. So we use the past perfect for showing sequence and clarity of events in the past. She had left before the party started. So our three storytelling verb tense stars: the past simple, the past continuous, and the past perfect. But what about the present? Do we use it in storytelling? Okay. Now, though rare, the present tense can be used in storytelling for drama or style. I run, the monster follows, my heart races. Well, we want to avoid mixing tenses randomly. So we've got one to avoid. She opens the door, she looked inside. Okay, no, we're mixing tenses randomly. It should be she opened the door, she looked inside. So our golden rule and tip for you budding storytellers is choose your tense, stick with it. So let's think about vocabulary spotlight. Okay, some words we can use related to storytelling and tense use. Tense shift. This is an accidental change in tense. Tense shift. An accidental change in tense. Flashback. Shows earlier events, often past perfect. A flashback. This is a scene showing earlier events, often in the past perfect. Narrative flow. The smooth movement through time in your story. The narrative flow. The smooth movement through time in your story. Example. He was exhausted because he hadn't slept the night before. Okay. Well, let's have a quick tense check. Okay. So we've got a chat exercise for you all if you wish to participate. Which is correct? If you think you know, write the letter into the chat. Is it A? She was cooking when the doorbell rings. Is it B? She was cooking when the doorbell rang. Or is it C? She is cooking when the doorbell rang. Interesting. Okay. Well, we've had lots of responses. Well done, everybody. And we've got the right response from everyone too. You're right. It is B. She was cooking when the doorbell rang. So we're using the past continuous there to set up an ongoing action. It's like background for something that happened. She was cooking when the doorbell rang. This creates background followed by an interruption. Well, let's confirm that. Here we go. Which is correct? B. She was cooking when the doorbell rang. Answer B. It uses the past continuous and the past simple for an interruption. Okay, so a great way to tell stories. Set up a situation using the past continuous and then an interrupting action with the past simple. Well, we're going to think about some common mistakes and how to fix them. So, random tense swaps. Okay, this is something that we want to avoid. We want to avoid random tense swaps or changes. So a quick analysis here. Let's have a look at a bad tense swap. He walked to school. This is in the past simple. He sees his friend. This is the present simple. Okay, doesn't sound good. Let's have a look and listen to a better version. He walked to school. Past simple. He saw his friend. Past simple. So why is the first one incorrect? Why it's wrong? It jumps between tenses and it confuses the timeline. So jumps between tenses confuse the timeline. They confuse the reader. He or she is not sure exactly what's happening. So the second sentence, both in the past simple, maintains clarity. He walked to school. Okay. He saw his friend. Okay. The story continues. Now, there is something else that we need to avoid. It's called the past continuous trap. We don't like traps. Okay, well, let's have a look at this past continuous trap. Aha. I was waking up. I was brushing my teeth. I was eating. Okay, so the past continuous trap is using it just to talk about separate past simple actions. We don't just use it on its own. It's used to create a background for a story, or to talk about two actions happening at the same time, but three actions after each other. It doesn't work. We should say, I woke up, brushed my teeth, and ate. So use the past continuous only for ongoing background actions, not for every move. So this is something to think about. Okay, our third thing to avoid is skipping the past perfect. Okay, so the past perfect, it may be an intimidating verb tense to use, but we need it in some situations. So, for example, let's have a look at an incorrect sentence. She left after he arrived. Okay, she left after he arrived. Okay, well, in this sentence, it is unclear who was first. Now, we can create that using the past perfect. She left after he had arrived. Clarity achieved. So a useful tip, use the past perfect with before, by the time, just, and already. These are time phrase markers that we can use with the past perfect tense to talk about a general action in the past before a specific moment in the past. So she left after he had arrived. Okay. Well, let's think now about two skills in story writing, using dialogue and using narration. So dialogue versus narration. So in a story told in the past, dialogue can still use the present tense. She said, I love this movie. She said, I love this movie. Okay, this is correct. We don't want to say, she said, I loved this movie. Of course, it's possible to say that, but it changes the meaning. So dialogue can often be used in the present tense, even if the narration is told in the past. So let's think a little bit about some more vocabulary to focus on. So sequence markers. Okay, sequence markers. These are time phrases, expressions that talk about moments in time. We've got before, after, while, when, as soon as. Temporal ambiguity. Temporal ambiguity. Unclear timeline caused by poor tense use. Example, by the time we got home, the movie had already started. Okay, so that's a good example. By the time we got home, there it is. That is the moment in the past. The movie had already started by that time. So this is a good example. By the time we got home, the movie had already started. But we want to avoid temporal ambiguity. Well, let's think about techniques you can use for tense consistency. Let's explore some more sequence markers that will help you become a great storyteller. Don't forget to take some notes. So, when we're telling a story, we want to begin a sequence of events. So we've got some words here that can help us to begin a sequence of events. Number 1, first. First. Number 2, first of all. First of all. Number 3, to begin with. To begin with. Number 4, initially. Initially. Number 5, at first. At first. Number 6, in the beginning. In the beginning. Number 7, the first thing. The first thing. So we have an example. In the beginning, the forest was quiet and peaceful. So this is the beginning of a sequence. Now there are words or sequence markers we can use to show simultaneous actions, things happening at the same time. So number 1, while. While. Number 2, when. When. Number 3, as. As. Number 4, meanwhile. Meanwhile. Number 5, during. During. Number 6, at the same time. At the same time. And number 7, in the meantime. In the meantime. For example, at the same time, a storm was brewing far away. At the same time, a storm was brewing far away. Okay, well, let's have a look at some other sequential markers for simultaneous actions. We've got some more here, 6 more. Number 1, as soon as. Number 2, once. Once. Number 3, the moment that. The moment that. Number 4, the instant that. The instant that. Number 5, no sooner than. Number 6, just then. Example, as soon as he opened the book, the pages began to glow. As soon as he opened the book, the pages began to glow. Okay, well, let's think about a primary tense for your storytelling. So in most stories, the past simple is king. For example, he found the key. He unlocked the door. He opened the window. He looked outside. They found a dog. They took it home. I wrote a letter and sent it to my cousin. We cleaned the room and watched a movie. So in most stories, narration uses the past simple. It is king for our storytelling purposes. There are some magical signal words. So before plus past perfect. Before she left, she had packed her bag. While plus past continuous. While I was cooking, he was setting the table. These words act as clues to keep time in order. So we want to make these connections between these sequential markers or time phrases and the right verb tense. Conditional and reported speech, also useful storytelling tools. Reported speech. I am hungry. In reported speech, she said she was hungry. Conditionals. If he had studied, he would have passed. Use past perfect in what could have happened scenarios. So let's have a look now at application and conclusion. Let's explore the last sequence markers to conclude your stories. So to show the next step, number 1, then. Then. Number 2, next. Next. Number 3, after that. After that. Number 4, later. Later. Number 5, following that. Following that. Number 6, shortly after. Shortly after. Number 7, eventually. Eventually. Number 8, from then on. From then on. And our example, eventually the rain stopped and a rainbow appeared. Eventually the rain stopped and a rainbow appeared. We also have some sequential markers to refer back in time. Before, earlier, previously, by the time, up until then, until, already, by then. For example, they danced until the sun came up. They danced until the sun came up. We also have some sequential markers to show the end of a story as well. Here they are. Finally, in the end, eventually, at last, lastly, to conclude, afterward or afterwards. Example, in the end, they found the treasure beneath the old oak tree. In the end, they found the treasure beneath the old oak tree. So let's have a think about your story breakdown. Okay, short passage color-coded by tense. So we're going to have a look at a short story now that I've color-coded using blue for the past simple, red for the past perfect, and grey for the past continuous. Keep them in mind as we look and listen to the following story. I was hurrying down the street when I realized I had left my phone at home. The wind was blowing hard and dark clouds were gathering above. I had checked the weather earlier, but I had assumed it would clear up. Suddenly, it started to pour. I was running towards the nearest cafe when I slipped on the wet pavement. A kind stranger was watching from inside and opened the door for me. By the time I got inside, I was dripping wet, but grateful. I had needed a break anyway. Okay, well, after the lesson, I can send these to everyone via email, so you'll be able to have a look at that story and compare it to the tenses on the previous screen. So we've got a summary and key takeaways for you here. Number 1, choose a main tense, usually past simple. Number 2, use past perfect to show earlier actions. Number 3, avoid random shifts in time. Number 4, dialogue can stay in the present. And number 5, of course, practice makes harmony. Okay, guys, well, we're coming towards the end of our conference lesson for storytelling, written storytelling today. It's been an absolute pleasure to present this one. And we have a conclusion here for everybody. So in conclusion, tense harmony keeps your storytelling clear and smooth by choosing a main tense, usually past simple, and using past continuous or past perfect when needed. You help your reader follow the timeline easily. Stay consistent. Use time markers wisely and let your story unfold with clarity and flow. A well-balanced tense makes all the difference. Okay, guys, well, there we go. We've come to the end of the conference lesson for today. So on behalf of everybody here at Cercle de Langue and on my behalf too, thanks for watching. It's been great to have you all here, and I hope to see you all again next Monday when I will present another conference lesson.